We're 92.3, the homie J9, Letty, and our special guest, one of the hottest up-and-comers in the music scene right now, in the hip-hop scene, straight from Los Angeles, the homie King Lil G. What's up, bro?
Yeah, I'm just chilling, man, enjoying this hot day.
Enjoying this hot day, this summer, man. It seems like it's getting hotter by the day. You just invited us to your pool party, which I'm looking forward to.
Yes.
You feel me? But, yo, let's get straight to it, man. You've been putting in work for the last few years. Heard about you a couple years ago. I'll be straight up, wasn't really paying attention until they started bringing you up again here. And I just got to say, man, I think you have some really dope music that people connect with, and it's really positive. Like, what made you go from street, person and gangbanging to being a positive voice for the community, and not just the community, but the Latino community itself?
I think I had a Biggie Smalls moment where I went from negative to positive.
Right.
And it's just who I started surrounding myself with and who I wanted to become in the future. So, I told myself if I think outside the box, and if I talk about some real shit, and I'm not talking about real shit like, apparently we know that in the hood, the consequences of going to jail and being a part of a gang or whatever, but I was thinking outside of it, like, what about them kids that are not from gangs, What about those women who maybe judge us because we have tattoos on our face or whatever? I want those women to know that I'm not a savage like that. I respect women to the fullest, And I also try to encourage women a lot through my music due to those facts that I just stated right now. So, I just try to really voice my opinion and give a voice to the homies in the hood, you know what I'm saying? That maybe we get stereotyped and judged a certain way, so I'm just really letting them know what's good with us.
You know what I like about it is the fact that, and it's not even something to like about it because I'm pretty sure you've probably felt an uncomfortable feeling in not being the guy, like you dropped out of school, but you were still smart. And you still didn't go all the way into the hood. Like, you were just kind of caught in between. Like, what can I do? But the fact that you had that mentality is kind of proof that you didn't need to be either. You kind of needed to be the voice for both.
Yes.
I feel like when you do that in your music and it speaks to both sides of the fence, so to speak, it touches people in a way that no matter how you look, I don't look like that, but I can still rock with it.
Yeah.
I do commend you on that first and foremost.
Thank you.
Second, like, when it comes to especially now times, like, I feel like there's turmoil, especially us being, we're all Mexican. I'm Mexican Salvadorian.
Yeah.
You're full Mexican.
I'm Mexican,
You're
for
full
sure.
Mexican?
Yes.
I feel like being out here and being what LA looks like and what LA is feeling right now, especially with just Trump, and not even that, just how we've always been. Like, we've grown up on this, you get out of my country.
Get out of my country. We don't want you here. We're going to build a wall.
So to kind of have, like, that turmoil breed someone like you to come up and stand up, that's a heavy responsibility.
Definitely is, man.
Are you ready for that?
I am extremely ready, and I'm going to tell you this. I've learned that I shouldn't be bitter because I'm excluded or I have to work twice as hard in order to be noticed. I'm not bitter about that at all. If anything, I'm excited to show my skill, display my skill, and show the numbers because at this point, I'm ready to perform anywhere and show the world that my fans are going to come out and that, we're doing things.
It's crazy you say that, man. You got the numbers, and that's definitely true. Last I heard, you had your show at the Novo at Microsoft, and you had at least 500 something people, plus people still trying to get in after you sold out your show. You're selling out shows across the nation, dog. Like, how does that feel, bro? Coming, like, knowing that you've been working so hard and now you're at the moment where you could really make a difference and impact the people and selling out shows. You're like, how does that make you feel, dog?
It makes me extremely proud that I was able to stand on what I believe in, and that's to represent our people in a more educated type of way and stuff, and of course for me to put more poetry inside of my raps because I feel that before it was just gibberish and rhyming and just looking for a dope beat, which I don't knock people who do that, you know what I'm saying, more power to them, but
and that's how you mature though.
I'm just speaking about myself.
There's
you know
growth.
what I'm saying? I feel like I needed to put poetry in there and speak about certain political things and like I said, the way we treat women sometimes. I think that was very important, you know what I'm saying?
Especially coming from a Latino perspective, bro, because even me being Mexican and Latino, yeah, you can grow up being that machista, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fact that you see that that's not the way to treat our ladies and you're trying to set the example, I think says a lot as a personally, because it's really hard for a Latino or a Mexican to try to change their ways. We're very, very, how you would say, like torpes or whatever you could say in Spanish. It's just really hard-headed. You get what I'm saying? So the fact that you're doing that, I think, is super dope. And I think that's why people connect with your music, because there is that outlet for people that connect to that, bro, but there's no voice for it. And you are the voice. Now, aside from that, I know you do a lot of work in the community, bro.
Right.
I've seen that you've paid for haircuts for kids,
Right.
which is something I thought of. And when I saw that you did, I was like, oh, damn, there goes my idea. You know what I mean? But it shouldn't stop me from doing it. I think it's so dope. What is the next event that you think could benefit the people, or something that you're planning? Because I know you posted up on your social media a couple of weeks ago that you're looking for something to do for the community, you just don't know what.
Yeah, well, actually, I already found a place, and this is gonna be for like homeless people, but like for homeless young people.
Right.
I'm gonna go speak to them about, you know, certain ways and certain things that they can do, you know, try to inspire them. Of course, I thought about taking them hygiene kits instead of like clothing or food or whatever, because I feel like that's something we don't really think about. And they need hygiene, you know what I'm saying? They need a deodorant, razors.
Everyone deserves to smell good.
Exactly. So, you know, I'm gonna go and do that for them, and in return, man, I'm hoping that maybe somebody becomes something, or I could change somebody's life. You know, I don't know,
Yeah.
but I'm hoping that I could do that for them, and I'm gonna continue on doing it a whole lot. The reason why I broadcast it so much, and I need all my fans to really understand the reason why I broadcast it, is how am I supposed to inspire others to want to help people and want to do right? How am I supposed to do that if I don't show
Without
it?
showing
Without
it.
showing
How am I
it.
supposed to do that?
Yeah.
I don't want years to go by and be like, yeah, I helped out my community millions of times, except, you know, I just didn't show it to people.
Yeah.
But
Right.
why not show it though? You see all the negative, you know what I'm saying?
Why not see the positive?
You know what's
Exactly.
crazy?
That's so dope.
Like, what my issue, especially like when I didn't mess with Jay-Z, my issue with him was like, you have so much influence, bro, and you're using your influence to tell us what to buy. You're using your influence to tell us Cristal,
How to live.
throwback jerseys,
Yo.
like how to
Yeah.
stunt.
Right.
You're not saying, yo, think. You're not saying, yo, get right. Like, that's something that I feel like when you do that, you're saying it's cool for a guy like me to do it. Y'all all want to be me, then do that too. Is follow the footsteps of the person you're following, you're leading, that's leading y'all. I do want to touch on it because the way I became a fan of you was because your ass made me cry. And I feel like once you make a
Quiere
girl
llorar,
cry, she's
quiere
down.
llorar.
Like, she's down for you through whatever. Like, you touch my heart enough, you make me cry. And you make me cry because I'm a single mother.
Right.
And the Cold Christmas video.
Right.
And not just that video. It's so many videos besides that. You tell our story that can't be told any other way but by someone like us.
Yeah.
And from
Definitely.
a mom's perspective, bro, like, you show like the stuff you put your mom through.
Yeah.
And all these videos, there's like
Like,
5 moms
he-
that cried and were like
he
in the
touched
kitchen,
me.
like pissed at their kid.
That's
But, like,
crazy.
that's all our life, and it's like we don't have that in other forms of rap.
Yeah.
I do want to ask, with your situation with your mom, has that gotten like, have you been like, look, because I remember you had said something like, I told you I wanted to have these accomplishments and then I became a criminal. Have you had that turnaround moment with her, like, look, mom, like, now this is what it's for?
Yeah, you know, whenever I speak about my mother figure, I don't speak about my biological mother. I speak about, you know, who I was raised by, you know, maybe my woman's mother or whatever, because, you know, I had a son at a very young age, and I feel like my son's mother's mother became my mother as well, you know, because she kind of raised me since a teenager and shit. So I was really speaking to all of these women that I was putting through a whole lot of pain, because see, we don't realize that when we go through drama as a young teenager, young adult, we put everybody through pain.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We put our girl, her
It's like
mom.
a ripple effect.
It's like everybody gets hurt by it, and that's why I show my music videos on how you can hurt others. You know what I'm saying? And mostly overall,
I seen it in that ignorance video, Don.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
ignorance video was so dope, and I think it was the one where you touched on it. You said, I connected with it when you said, sorry, mom, I couldn't like walk the stage, I couldn't graduate. I didn't graduate from high school. My mom took me out of a school from, you know, South Central LA to take me to another school so I could have a better education, and I still didn't graduate, dog. My whole thing was like trying to fight against her, and like, I just connected with you on that point because it made me feel so bad not being able to give my mom like that graduation present, dude, and it sucks so bad. And you touched a bunch of kids with that kind of stuff. So with your music though, what I want to touch on is like, what were some of your influences growing up? Because I know for me, growing up, like the first person or the first song that I ever heard that made me love hip hop was actually a Latino rapper, dog, Mexican, and it was Kid Frost, and it was La Raza, and I was 4 years old. You know, shout out to my tia Gisela one time. You know, she introduced me to that song. I was 4 years old, and I would bug her every Sunday when I would go see her, like play that song. So, what were some of your influences to growing up in the game in hip hop that made you want to be an artist or a musician?
The first song that I heard was "What's My Name" by Snoop.
Damn.
Yeah, it was by Snoop,
Right.
and I grew up in Inglewood. I went to elementary school. I mean, out there or whatever, and you know, everybody is African American.
Right.
So I kind of didn't really get to hear Frost and stuff till later on. I think I got to hear his stuff like around American Me type of time.
Gotcha.
Okay, right.
I think so.
Like the mid-90s.
Because back in the days, you got to remember, music had to get near you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
couldn't
for
get
sure.
near the music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not my fault.
Wasn't a
that-
click
Yeah, it
away
wasn't.
from-
Yeah, it
You know
wasn't a
what I'm
button
saying?
miles
Around.
away. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes
For
and
sure.
I wanted to make that clear because I don't ever want my fans to be like, "Oh, you didn't support." Like it is not about that.
It's
It's
not
just
about
music
that.
back
Yeah.
then was different
Yeah.
for us. You know what I'm saying?
And then
We couldn't-
you had to assimilate to your surroundings, like, and with you too. Like I grew up like that too, where, you know, I went to school in elementary and stuff like with African Americans and Latinos, but for high school I went to a strictly straight like just Latino school, which was Roosevelt, and I got so much hate for trying to be from South Central. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to be like, oh, that's just what it was. You know what I'm saying?
It's
So
what you were around.
I totally get that. I see some of the influences I want to say when I heard Ando Tatuado.
Oh yeah.
La gente me critica porque.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I was talking to Letty about this earlier. Like, it reminded me of the Cypress Hill, you know, Grandes Éxitos en Español, the greatest hits in Spanish.
yeah.
Were they also some of your influences growing up?
See, that's another thing. I really didn't get to
Yeah.
hear about them till Friday
Till
came
Friday.
out. And then you remember how they had a song on the soundtrack?
Yeah.
That's how I was, and I was like, oh snap!
Yeah.
These dudes are saying Spanish words on there. Oh, okay, that's
Okay,
dope.
right.
But where I was coming from, it was whoever was dominant at that time, Death Row, and then Tupac
Word.
coming.
Yeah.
Those type of things that were commercial enough for us to hear about them, because. I don't know, man. I didn't even hear about the East Coast rappers. The Tupac dissed those East
Right.
rappers.
That's all we
Yeah,
knew of
that's
then.
that's all we.
That's why
That's
I'm
all.
like, oh, he's like, he did like Jay-Z. He said, fuck Jay-Z.
Real
All right,
talk.
let's ride.
For real.
Exactly. So, I don't care how many people like the front, because I come across a lot of critics and stuff that, sometimes I tell them, man, you can't blame me for how music
Yeah.
got near me.
Yeah.
You need to understand. It's not like
Exactly.
how it is now.
You-
You know what I'm saying? So,
You know what's wild about that? Because I was talking to someone about, because in LA, hip hop is very different. And like,
Oh,
even
yeah.
our PDs, like, I've
The
never
vibe.
witnessed like listenership out here because it's mostly Latinos. LA, our listeners, 70% Latinos, right?
Wow.
So
Yeah.
that's different than every other market in hip hop. Every other market, majority black. Here, you have to tune into the Hispanic audience. But also here, we're hip hop heads without identifying it to a race. Like, my brother put me on to Wu-Tang. My brother's he's 12 years older than I
Right.
am. All I knew was that this is the music my brother liked. I was a tomboy. I wanted to be like my brother. And I never attached it to being black, or I never attached it to a race. I just knew this is songs he liked. So I fell in love with hip hop. And I'm like, there's a difference between, like, out here, hip hop is not necessarily black culture. Hip hop is just hip hop.
It's
And
universal,
you're
man.
a fan. Like, you can be Latino and a fan. That doesn't mean you're identifying
love it for
as
the
black,
art.
or it doesn't mean like you're trying to take it away. I think something what you're doing, like, especially how you're speaking your story, a lot of times we either expect you have to sound black, or you have to go full Little Rob.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
freaking
exactly.
South Park Mexican, and you have to be
Yo.
like that guy. But you kind of found a way to balance that.
Yeah.
And I see that you say, like, with the Inglewood, your upbringing, it's like it was just around you. That's how you saw it.
yeah, that's how I saw it. But I've been battling for years, trying to make people understand
Yeah.
that I'm not trying to be Latin rap. I'm not trying to be that. But
Yeah.
trying to
at
be
this
you.
point today, I gave up on that. I don't even want to touch that subject. They could
Yeah.
judge me however they want. All we're gonna do is speak numbers, and
And they do speak.
whatever
Oh, yeah.
whatever it is, whatever challenge they want to give me, which we did. We've been doing summer jams and all kinds of stuff, and we've been showing them that we could bring the people.
Yeah.
So if they want to continue on giving me the challenge, I'll continue on taking them and showing them what time it is.
Yo, I saw your noisy piece, and
Oh,
how, like,
man, that
it
was a good
came-
piece.
It came from like the Swap Me circuit.
Yeah.
Like, we don't see that
No,
anymore.
you
'Cause when
don't.
people are like, "How did he do
How
it?"
did he-
This is how, bro. It's
Yeah,
because
you gotta
people
kill
were-
the streets,
and
man.
then your fans have to be that much more of a. So shout out to the Susers and the Susias.
Yeah,
Like,
for
they have
real.
to be that much more of soldiers, because that's the only way they could get you, bro. Like, this, when to meet you, when to get your shit, is to go to these swap meets, to pick it up, to really support.
Yeah.
I think people underestimate Latinos as, like, how loyal we are,
Yeah.
and how
Yes.
strong in numbers we are.
We are.
I feel like, yeah, you might want to count us out, but there's too many of us.
And it's
for you to
funny though,
count us
because
out.
they might want to count us out, but within our own culture, why is it that we hate on ourselves so much? Like, why do you think?
I don't even want to comment on that again, because I feel like even our own people don't even
They don't get it.
they won't get it if I was
They
to
won't grasp
show it
it.
to them with a
Right.
crystal ball and say, look, these are the reasons why. amongst us Latinos or Hispanics, like they want to separate Salvadorians and Mexicans. I don't even like hearing that. But then I even tell Mexicans, you guys separate yourselves within Mexico.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. So I don't even want to touch that subject. I just feel like we can never make them understand. But
you can only show them.
All you can do is just keep doing your music, bro. And I think your music is what's speaking for everybody, and that's what's that's what's painting the bigger picture right now. And people will slowly, definitely will see that as long as you keep working, man. Now, the whole Trump situation, dog, how do you think this country's gonna turn out if he becomes president? Do you think we're gonna unite more as Latinos?
You know, this is another subject that I just
look, I just feel like you need to fucking touch on some shit, bro.
Just give us the realest, man. So I know you're one of the realest, and I know it's probably difficult, but I feel people need to hear it.
I get it. I've seen it, and it's not. It doesn't come. My thing is, it's like understand someone's intention. Your intention is never malicious. Your intention is observant. Like, this is what's going on. Let me speak on it.
Now, if people don't like the truth, that's their fault.
Don't like that may feel away already. Are using you as a scapegoat to kind of give their energy.
Okay, I'll tell you guys what really needs to be done. Whether Trump is president or not, or even if he didn't exist in this presidential election, we need to fix ourselves. We need to change ourselves. Us. This is not about Trump. This is just a person that's saying, yo, these people are fucking up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bring it to the light. That's all this is. So we need to fix us. And that's what I try to tell them all the time. Yo, you guys need to become intellectual, you know, stay in school, make sure you do this. You need to have knowledge in order to have a business. Why work for somebody when you could do this on your own? You know, I'm trying to tell my community, I'm trying to be a leader within my community and tell them that. But I feel that the more and more I tell them, there's always a group of people, or if not one person, that tries to say, nah. No,
you can't be none.
Because you know what? He agrees with this Trump show. It ain't even about that. All I'm saying is we need to fix ourselves, but it's like people don't want to fix it because either we're too tough. Us Mexicans, Latinos, we're too tough. Bro. We're too territorial.
Yeah, we're too territorial.
Too tough, and we only feel like we've conquered something if it's through a violent form. And we need to change that shit because
that's a trauma.
Yeah, that's so real.
That's something we've been traumatized and conditioned to think that that's how you move.
Straight up.
It's not necessary.
We don't need to do that. I feel like we have more class. We have a lot of morals, principles that, you know, our people like to begin with. When it comes to class and morals, our parents and mother, grandmother, whatever, we'll get in trouble. We didn't say hello and good night.
Hello to everyone,
you know
right.
So with that being said, and thank you, and you keeping your mouth shut, not speaking about family. You know what I'm saying? Not speaking about family stuff in front of strangers.
Right.
You know, we've been taught all this, but why have we lost touch of that? I don't understand why have we lost touch? Why do women feel like, you know, becoming a stripper, being on Instagram all day in their bikini? Why do they feel that? And I'm talking about our people. I'm not talking about nobody else's. I'm talking about Christina from next door.
Like, why do they feel like that's the only way out?
Why do they feel like that's the only way out? Like, I look at it like these girls are beautiful. You know, they have a strong grind or whatever, but you don't have to be displaying yourself like that, because the same way they want to crucify me because I'm representing our people, these girls with millions of followers represent our people too.
Yes.
And my thing is, it's like, if you look at it, and I'm coming from a woman's perspective, if you look at it and you look at how we're portrayed in media, we're the Sofia Vergara's.
Oh,
we're
always,
like the girls
dude.
that look hot, but they don't expect too much more of us. And it's because if we're that beautiful, that our looks are what gravitate you to us, but our dads are behind. Like, my dad's in my head with his morals and with our family values, and we all represent that, but we dim it. We dim it to get by.
I feel like they should you know, maybe show more women like this lady. She has like an insurance company. I see that all over LA. Adriana's Insurance. Man, this woman, she's a Mexican woman who is running that whole entire thing right there. That's something to be proud of. Shout out to her. I don't know her. I don't know anyone that knows her, but I'm just saying on what I see.
But you see her making moves. You see her doing it.
Shout out to that woman. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those are the type, and she's a beautiful woman. We need more women like that. We need, you know what? We need to stop complaining to ourselves at our fucking carne asada or at our living room or even in a place like this. We need more people to be more intellectual, go to school, help each other out. Like, look at all these things that I've been doing for my community. Why haven't I had one Mexican official or one delegate of something come to my spot and say, damn, G, I want to contribute this much money to fix this shit because these people listen to you. The news is never at my the news is never at my I gave away 500 backpacks away in Huntington Park last year and the news did not come. That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
They much rather go somewhere else and record whoever got jacked or, you know, the negative stuff.
Exactly. So I don't understand. Like, so if they're listening, they're watching this, please, let's come together.
Yeah, it starts with us.
I'm trying to do something positive. Stop trying to point at the negative stuff that I'm doing. Be a part of the positive shit. And if it's negative, don't even ring my line. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
And it's crazy, though, because I lost a couple people like that just because they were so negative, bro. Like, growing up in the hood, you realize, you know, they see me trying to make it, but they also try to bring me in with their lifestyle, and I wasn't fucking with it. And it wasn't until I actually disassociated myself from this one person that I was like, was my best friend, was my road dog, was my everything, bro. And I wanted to better my life. He thought I was just trying to be better than him. And all of a sudden, I'm the asshole. You know what I'm saying? That's not the case. Like you said, dude, we need to come together and make things pop. And you were talking about women earlier. You know, back to the music side. With women, are there any women in hip hop that you see yourself working with in the future that you feel you can make a movement with?
You know who I would love to make a song with? With Lauryn Hill.
Yeah. Lauryn Hill.
I love
man.
Bro, I fucking love Lauryn.
I love Lauryn Hill only because of just her spirituality and how she's connected with things.
The love.
Like, I love that. And I feel even though she don't need to be Mexican. Like, I just feel like maybe what she has to say.
Aside from that, it's a message that she has.
It's going to help the women where I grew up in my community. So I would love that. Now, women out there, man, there's a lot of talented singers out there. They don't need to be famous. You know what I'm saying? To me, I don't even really look for people that are famous to work with. I just work with talented people that are going to give me that certain vibe. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I look forward to. But as far as women, man, I don't want no diss to nobody. I just don't want a girl with a fake butt in my video or stuff like that.
Right.
Like, it's
whatever.
More than that. Yeah.
Rapping about whatever, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, so we'll just leave it at that.
Well, your tour, Lost in Smoke 2, right?
Yes.
July 7th is the first date at the Santa Ana, not amphitheater, but the observatory. There you go.
And then as the San Diego Observatory, and then from there we go all over the place.
You're all over, and are all the shows sold out yet, or is it still pending?
We have 18 cities that are sold out, but like...
Just 18, dog? Yeah, like, that's a lot, bro. Yeah. Like, that's what's up.
And we have 18 that are sold out, and then the other ones are like just spread out to like markets that we've never really been to, but they're still doing good. It's just that most of the fans that are coming from those small towns, they probably don't even believe I'm gonna go over there because they're like in the middle of God knows where. So.
Right.
How do you see the next for you? Like, how do you see what is, because I already feel like we're at this tipping point moment with you, whereas this is not like, this is a dude that's been working, this is a dude that's been in people's ears. I know you always hear
touching
like,
the streets.
I've been knowing about you for a couple years, I've been knowing, but it's like now it's that point where it's like, all right, now it's gonna topple over.
What's the next move? How you gonna make that?
I feel that my next move is just by continuing on making amazing music, new music, of course, is gonna touch more people, and not only my community now, but it needs to be relatable to the world. It needs to be relatable to Muslims and black people and people outside of California, which I think I've been doing an amazing job by reaching out to other Hispanics and other Hispanic communities across the United States and all over the world. But I feel like now I need to make sure that other people understand my struggle, and they're like, hell yeah, you know, I'm not Mexican, but I understand that shit. I grew up just
and that's
like that
cool,
too. You know
because it's funny you say that, because the music we grew up listening to wasn't predominantly Mexican. It was very, you know, African American or black for that matter. And it was very inspiring to me, though, because I came from the same struggle that they did. You know, I listened to Wu-Tang, and I'm like, oh, I could relate to that. I could relate to Snoop. I could, you know, it was so crazy. And especially Exhibit, I could relate to Exhibit, but we didn't have that Latino, you know, presence, I guess, to really be like, yo, I could relate to that without associating it with like Letty said, like a Little Rob or something like that. Yeah. That can be cool, but it wasn't something I can relate to, and it was crazy.
What? Like I feel like,
and no disrespect to him, of course.
Yeah. I feel like we still gotta give them props or other Latino artists props, because you know times have completely changed. Remember what I said earlier about music had to get near you. You couldn't get close to the music as quick as we can now. So I feel like, you know, they were a part of a certain time, but that time capsule closed.
Yeah.
Now
Right.
it's another chapter.
It's a new
And
generation.
you have to talk about other things, and you know, maybe the whole Latino community don't look like that, don't dress like that no more.
Right.
You know, they don't call beer what we used to call it back. You know, everything has changed. So I feel that, you know, they did amazing accomplishments for what it was. Much love to them, and I'm very appreciative and supportive of Frost and Psycho Realm and all of them. You know, much love to them. It's just like I'm gonna keep saying this. I'm gonna keep displaying my skill to whomever, and they could just come to the shows and look at the numbers, and we take it from there.
Who else do you see in that in the scene now? Who else do you feel are the other like leaders of this new school?
Of Latin rap or hip hop in general.
Yeah, just like with you, but with the same cause.
I feel like Joey Badass
Okay.
is yeah, I think he has like very conscious concepts in his raps and shit, and I think he really trying to put on for his coast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I've been to the East Coast, and I feel like the East Coast feels Joey Badass a lot more than what we do in the West Coast.
Right.
But I'm in the West Coast. I'm Mexican. I feel it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I fucks with it too.
So
My
shout
boy
out to
put me
him.
on that like a few years ago. We're chilling in the car, we're blowing one, whatever.
So I feel like him. I feel like J. Cole is a very
Okay, Letty, I see you.
yeah, extremely amazing. You know, Kendrick, he's amazing too. And I think, you know what, I feel that one you know, Latin rapper or a rapper in general, Immortal Technique. I got mad love for him. I look up to him a whole lot. I feel like they don't give him, you know, the props he deserves.
respect
so,
for
I
sure.
always try to mention him as much as possible, you know what I'm saying, so he can know that I got mad love and respect for him. Also, the homie Sick Jackin from Psycho Realm. I think he's my Wu-Tang, you know what I'm saying? He's my LA Wu-Tang.
Okay,
I like that.
He's my LA Wu-Tang. I support him to the fullest as well, and yeah, I mean, everybody else, I think we need. I think I would love to see like a woman Lauryn Hill of today's day. You know, be doing something right now. I think
a modern Lauryn Hill. You think that's something that hip hop needs right now, especially for the women?
Hell yeah. There was a girl that they were playing on the radio. She was like on some antisocial ass type of emotional ass record. I can't remember what the fuck it was.
Well,
she was singing, saying something about, you know, she had her beanie low. She didn't want people to talk to her.
Yeah, that's Alessia Carr. Shout out to you.
Carr.
Yeah. She's extremely dope, and I felt like that was super real. She was keeping it mad real.
She's like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Like
I felt like that was really dope. She was like, you know what? It ain't my type of scene to be popping pills all fucking day and be drinking lean and look at these people. They're I felt like she touched on some really, really dope topics. So shout out to her. She needs to continue doing that. I really like that.
A little collabo right there, or what?
Hell yeah. I would love that. Because I know I would be able to talk about some things.
Yeah. And honestly, I think she's Hispanic too.
You feel like you need that? You feel like you need that outlet to be able to let out some of the scenes. Like you need the woman's touch in order for you to perceive with something else.
You know what it is? I feel like once you become a artist and you have, you know, a big following, you become this network channel your damn self. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So anything that you speak about, people want to start listening to it, wearing it, bumping it, going to eat there. You know, so I feel like if I was to link up with other people who are also influential that are making the type of music I want to make, I think it'll even make it better for me. And that's what I'm working on as well, man, because I was really stuck for many, many years trying to make my own music and not really get on features with anybody because I wanted to show people
what you were capable
that I had the substance and that I could do this by myself and I could go into millions on YouTube. By the way, we're about to reach 100 million on my YouTube channel.
Hey, dude, that's legendary right there. That's what's up. Congratulations.
What do you think was that moment where you went from selling that stuff at the swap meet to like getting these numbers? And like, what was the moment where like you had like a show that was like 10 people and then you had a show that was sold out?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Because that must have been a feeling.
I remember clearly when I would go to the swap meets and I would insist like I never gave up, and sometimes they would be like, oh, you know, they've never really heard of you, so we can't really, and I would say, look, you ain't even gotta buy none, I'm gonna leave 10 right here for free, and then you let me know if they move, and I'll try to do my best. And then sometimes they wouldn't move because the internet wasn't that popping back in 2005 or whatever the hell. I mean, it was for like socializing and shit, MySpace.
There was all that.
It was popping for that, but to like really push out a product, it wasn't really cracking then. So I couldn't really promote it that way, but I never gave up. And I remember the day when I forgot about, you know, going to the swap meets, but I was still trying to push it. And I remember when I kind of let it go for a little bit, and then they were calling me saying, "Hey, I saw that you dropped this video, man."
All of a sudden.
And then I'll be like, yeah. He's like, "So what's up? You dropping an album on this or what?" And I'll be like, "Nah, you know, I think I'm just gonna let my fans have it for free for now, so they can continue on, so I could just grow with them." And they could be like, "Oh shit, you know, I don't have to go by it. I could just listen to it, bump it all day, and really become a fan of this." So, you know, I remember focusing on that. And once I made that move, then the sold out shows came by themselves. I didn't really have to go out there and, you know, do the most. But I did do what everyone else does. I sold a gang of tickets. I try to, you know, bring a crowd to shows that weren't really cracking and shit. And and then I had to go through all that. So upcoming artists, you know what I'm saying? If you coming up, even if you have dope music, you know what I'm saying? Always know that it's not about how dope your music is, it's about how strong your hustle is and shit.
Yeah, I can, man, I can relate to that so much, and I see it not just like myself, but with Letty too. There's times I'm in here, dude, doing my Saturday and Sunday night shows, dog, and Letty's in here just working her little ass off, dog, like 2 in the morning, and she's in here and she looks all tired, but you know what, bro? There's
but LA fucks with it.
Yo, they fucks with her, dog, and that's why they respect her, bro. And it's so hard for a woman to get respected, especially if you don't work hard. You know what I'm saying? She works hard, though. You get what I'm saying? Definitely. But then that also comes with a lot of hate sometimes. And, like, I know there's people that hate on me, like, "Oh, your guy was in promotions. How did he get on the radio?" You know what I mean? Like, dude, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy.
There's always something to knock you down because it's something that we don't expect of ourselves. So when we see someone else do it, it's like, it can't because of this. It can't because of that. My thing with you is, just think of how many other rappers there were. Even if we think LA rappers, even if we think Hispanic rappers, I have so many in my head that stopped. Some started becoming like club promoters. Some just gave up, started doing radio. And it's like, because they didn't feel they had it. And it's like, if they only understood their voice is just as good, it just needed time. You stood that test of time, because whatever it was could have made you, whatever little number it was, or whatever little respect or acknowledgement from either your peers or people above you, it could have been the reason why you just stopped, because so many did stop and you still kept on. It's kind of like the one that just made it up, because so many just were like, not that they weren't better than you or they weren't good, it's just they didn't put it in. That's sad to see. I think that's like the worst thing, like to see talent,
wasted talent,
just go off, like just say
wasted
no to
talent.
Themselves.
Yeah,
that's hard, and that's something that this society, I think, is struggling with. We don't believe in ourselves as much anymore. We believe in someone else's product, and we're hoping that
we work to make other people's dreams
exactly.
come true. Do you read any books? Is there anything you would like?
You know, lately I haven't been reading any books, but I've read books before that really put me on as in a leader. I read this book called The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli, and he talked about being a leader in this book, and it's not even a fat book. It's like a small little novel. Yeah. It's like a little novel and shit, and it really put me on point about a lot of things, like, you know, sacrificing your time sometimes, like And that related to me, like, damn, you know what? I shouldn't feel so bad when I'm on tour and I miss somebody's birthday, because there's a bigger picture. I'm gonna help them, you know, in a bigger way once I come back, and you know, we take care of situations. So I shouldn't really not work to spend time at a birthday party.
And it's funny you say that though. Like, you're a big LA fan. You're an LA dude, dog. Yeah. Like, big Laker fan, and what you just said right now is sacrifice, you know, time. I got this from Kobe Bryant's Muse, you know, where he says, you know, in order to be great, you need to sacrifice. In this case, you know, in his case, it was sacrificing being a good son, sacrificing being a good friend. But all that all that will get, like, you will have a payout to that, you know, when you're great, and you're gonna be able to spend all the time and be able to be the person that you wanted to be.
Status,
yeah.
Which is why I think where you're headed to, dog. I just think you need to keep working a little more, you know what I mean? But dog, it's there, man, and I don't see that shit stopping anytime soon, bro.
My thing is, we're built to work. Excuse me, like
we are. Let's do it. Like,
why am I making these dudes Chinese food or Italian food if I can make my own restaurant? Is what I'm saying. Like, we are there making it. Like, and my thing is like, okay, there's this book. The reason why I asked you is every great person I know, from Kendrick Lamar to Big Boy to these people we look at, they've all read this book called Outliers. And this book talks about 10,000 hours, and it's saying you have to work 10,000 hours in order to become a master of your craft. That's one of the principles in the book. And it's all in that, those nights that you're working, the stuff you're missing out on, that intention you're putting into your art form is to become a master. And then don't get it twisted, because I'm not saying master equals fame. I'm not saying, like, when you really love your craft, like you said, like, I wanted to add poetry in it. I want it to be more than the boom bap, blah, blah, blah. Like, and
bitches
like,
in the hoes.
Like, it's like, it's beyond that. So once you understand that it's beyond that, you want to be the best at it, all of that other stuff becomes a result rather than chasing the other stuff. Sorry. I drank coffee.
No, it's cool, man.
Sorry.
But yeah, I would tell you, like, I'm gonna give you that book. I really want you to read that because it helps.
A lot
so
of coffee
much.
in that little body can be dangerous.
I would love, especially on tour. I'm gonna be on the road forever, so I'll be reading it.
Yeah, dude.
Trying to learn more from it.
She definitely recommended that to me the other day, which I still haven't jumped on it, but I am this weekend. I'm picking it up.
I gotta tell about, like, that's a book that definitely helps you out for a reason. It's a mentality not a lot of people have.
That is so crazy, man. 10,000 hours. That's a lot of hours, though. Who's keeping track of that?
I think I decided it's like a good 10 years, to be honest. Like, it's like if you, whatever. Anyway.
Now, you have a song out with Nipsey Hussle called Dope.
Yeah.
How did that collab come about, man? Was it you reaching out to him? Was it something like, yo, I need to do a song with him? Or you felt like he was just the perfect piece for that song?
You know what it was? Me and Nipsey, we've been in contact somehow for many years now.
Right.
I know one of his people that works for him, and his people know some of my people. So, and we saw each other in I can't remember if it was in the Bronx or Brooklyn. It was in the Bronx. We're at a strip club, chilling. He was doing an event there, and I was just in New York, so I went over there and I was like, "What up, Nipsey?" And my people already knew his, and we talked about making a song, but at the time he was just all over the place. I was too.
Right.
So. Once I came back to LA, I started working on music. I said, you know what? I want to make a song about being dope, but, I could speak about my perspective, how I get harassed by the cops because, the gang unit and shit. And then we could talk about how we had to, sometimes hustle extremely hard in the hood in order to survive. Right. But you know what? Maybe we can have like the input of an African American that could tell it his way,
right?
And he made some references about belly and that in his verse.
Yeah,
he made references about their type of stuff, and I'm over here talking about mine. So I thought it was pretty dope for us to do that, and I really wasn't looking forward to like a radio song or nothing like that. I just wanted to make some dope shit.
And see, that's what Letty. It goes back to what Letty was talking about, doing it for the love, bro. Like me and her, we do this for the love.
What's it called? How do you feel about like Latino and Black relations in LA?
Yes.
Because I spoke to this with YG, and he especially said, like, at this time where so many of us are getting attacked in different ways,
very critical.
We attack each other. Like even we're both the minorities here. And he's like, shit happens in jail, like for whatever reason, like the race wars go on and it kind of bleeds into the streets. But how do you feel, or how do you see yourself as far as it goes with Blacks and Browns, both in your fan base and in your life?
Okay, I love this question. I've been looking forward to answers to this, and I will say that I came to realize that both parties, we can't hate each other because we love so much about each other. And I'll go down the fucking list.
Yeah.
Let's start number one.
Number one. From the beginning of time, I feel like when there was perhaps racial tension between us in the 90s, 80s or whatever, we always loved oldies.
Yeah.
They're black.
Yeah.
You can't name one human being here in Los Angeles that doesn't have a Jordan shoe or that didn't like Jordan.
Word.
Right.
We love not only basketball players, but there's other athletes that do different things that are heroes, and they're amazing wrestlers. Who knows? I don't know. Right. Everybody has their thing that they love. It might be a painter, a graffiti artist. I don't know. It could be Eazy-E. It could be Tupac. What Mexican have you came across that tells you, nah?
This many, dog.
I don't know. I would love to hear this. So with that being said, we cannot be, hypocrites to what you already love. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to, the African American community, they love the food we make.
Yeah, they mess with they love those tacos bro, from the corn, dog.
They love it.
For sure.
So the best food comes from people who cook it from the heart. Mm-hmm. So this is coming from a Mexican's heart, and You're eating it, you're loving it. You in line at King Taco for the shit.
Right.
You loving it. They love you. They love the women, bro. They always speak about this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So for you to love a certain type of woman and you want to be in a relationship with them,
we're crazy. I'm just
Yo, they know it. They like it just a little bit.
and then overall, us Mexicans, we've built maybe places that they don't even know that they enjoy so much. A club, I guarantee you. The club in Hollywood, God knows where. I guarantee you Mexicans build that fucking place. Yeah. I guarantee you.
Or they're probably keeping the place upkept. You know what I mean? Like,
you see what I'm saying? So there's so many things that you already love about one another.
Yeah. So what's the point of
already,
even having
it's all connected. So many similarities.
So anything that has to do besides that is little kid shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
just
little
petty
kid
shit.
Petty shit that don't have nothing to do with, and then people trying to do the old fucking, oh look, I have an issue with this person, but I'm gonna say those people don't like us.
Right.
Be a fucking man. Say you have an issue with
that person.
Don't pull the cards. Don't pull the race cards.
Don't make all of us
a part of your shit. Yeah.
Don't make all of us a part of that shit. So I feel that we've been victims to that, and I'm gonna say victims to that because us Mexicans were quick to jump, bro, for whatever fucking reason. So if my life gets ruined over some shit on behalf of some shit that you did, you ruining us. Like we're all going down for some shit that you believe, that one person believes. So I just feel that, nowadays I think we're coming to realize that more. And I appreciate YG, touching on that and saying that and being positive about it because that's what we need. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? I feel like Trump is in a position how YG was when they asked him that question.
Yeah.
You got to answer it with positivity, and if there is an issue, don't put the light on the issue, put the light on the solution.
Yep.
Yes.
How are we going to solve this shit? You know what I'm saying?
Because we can complain and bicker all day, but
and we can talk shit about what's wrong with this and what's wrong with that, but if we don't come up with a solution.
Imagine having a step kid or a kid that you just took in that wasn't yours. Right. Let me make an example. And he's a bad kid. And you want to fix this kid because now he's your responsibility. You're not going to go to the neighbors and to family parties and throw light on how much this kid fucks up all day. Because what are you going to do? What are people are going to hate this kid.
Yeah. Right. You're paying them out to be a little asshole.
You are not going to fix a fucking thing.
No.
You know what I'm saying? All you're going to do is make people hate on it, talk about it. You're supposed to keep it to yourself. You know what? Hey, guys, please, if you guys could do me this favor, no candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Not safe.
How are we gonna fix it?
Hey,
no Xbox.
This kid, he's a reckless little motherfucker. Be careful because he will, you don't do that. So I just feel that, Trump is wrong on that behalf. And I be extremely careful the way I speak now about anything because even when it comes to our people, I don't try to find the bad things about it. I just try to find the solutions. Yeah, people that I give backpacks to that I'm cutting hair for, maybe they might be people, their parents, cousins, brothers, they might hate me. Yeah. But I don't think about it. I'm not going to do that in that area right there because those people hate me. Or I remember one time a long time ago, I had an issue with people that were in this area, so I'm not going there. Fuck them all. No. You know what I'm saying? I don't even speak about it like that. I don't even try to show the light. I just say, you know what? We're going to go over there. We're going to do this for the kids and shit and show them my positivity. So whenever they remember me or they remember our people, they know it's people that we're carrying and we're trying to help each other and we're trying to help each other progress. So that's the impression I want them to have. I don't want them to see me and be just speaking about negative shit. I want solutions, and I only want to speak to people who have solutions as well, and people to be on my team that have solutions, not problems. I don't want to know about.
It's
fucking
crazy
problems.
You say that. It's true about the solutions. Like somebody once told me, I was working promotions at the time with one of my homies here at work, and shout out to my boy Chunk. He goes, J9, they don't want to know what you can't do for them, dog. They want to know what you can do for them. Like, because they'll come up and ask, like, it'll be like some top, boss from the company or whatever and be like, oh, where can I get this? Or how can I do this? And if you tell them, oh, I don't know. No, they don't want to know what you don't know. They want to know what you do know. Right. They want to come up with a solution. So you're right about the solutions, man. All right. One of the final questions, unless you have another one, Letty, but what do you want people to take away from this interview about you?
Take it away as far as like
what do you want them to know about you? Like what's one thing that you want them to take home with them?
I want them to know that I was a person with many obstacles. You know, I'm sure they're gonna be at home, you know, looking at YouTube or whatever, trying to give their input or their comments. But I want them to know that I've had many obstacles. You know, this rap shit is not easy for anyone. I'm not talking about just Mexicans, for anyone. And I want them to know that everything that I've been trying to do to progress and what made me a better person is being positive. You know what I'm saying? So if they can be positive at whatever they're doing, you know, girls might be doing makeup and shit or whatever, you know, and by throwing shade at another girl that wants to do it, it's not going to make you better. So you got to be extremely positive about everything you're doing. And if you can do that, you can become great. I did it.
There we go.
There we go. That's what it is, man. One of the realest right now. A real one, King Lil G. I'm LA's homie, J9. That's my sister, Letty.
When are you going to run for president? Like,
for real, though.
Nah.
I said that. Hey, we got the people to put you in office, dog. That's all I'm saying, man.
Don't do it because I have a new song. You guys are going to fucking love it. And I talk about, you know, me not wanting to voice my opinion because it might do me not like Kennedy.
Right.
They might put me on the news.
Anyone with a voice.
They might put me on the news and say I'm a hoodlum the same way they did with Muslims. But, you know, you guys will check it out in the future.
Definitely. Good looking out, man. For real, though. Good looking out, man. Appreciate you stopping by, man. For real.
Much love. And you guys come to my pool party.
Yeah.
For sure. Hey, for sure. Everyone shoot through.
Everybody come.